Former Utah Congressman and a Fox Business contributor, Jason Chaffetz. Jason, great to see you. Thanks for coming in. So, New York City and D.C. are so-called sanctuary cities, but they can't handle a couple of busloads of migrants. What's up with that?
Yeah, if they could see the surge that's happening down in the places like Arizona and Texas, New Mexico, California, that's nothing. And look, these are people that voluntarily want to go. They're not being shipped and bussed out by Governors Ducey and Abbott. These people want to go to New York. Now, they could solve all of this if they would just secure the border, if they would just enforce the law, let people come in through the front door. But no. I mean, I am so proud of those governors Ducey and Abbott for doing this. They should do it all around the country.
Well, I mean, the thing is that not only are they just not putting that into the context, the fact that they're getting a couple hundred, where the people in Texas are getting hundreds of thousands of people coming in every month. Right. But they're denying that there's a crisis. They're along with Mayorkas and the president himself saying that there is no crisis, that, in fact, the border is secure. But they can't handle it. I mean, it just kills me. This is NIMBY. This is not in my backyard on steroids, right?
Yeah, I mean, why don't they call the border czar? Why don't they call Kamala Harris and try to figure it out from there? I mean, the reality is they do not have operational control. This is human trafficking. It's drug trafficking. I mean, listen to that interview. The women and children are being raped along the way. Those that are tacitly approving this and facilitating it are President Biden and Vice President Harris. They own the responsibility for giving the drug cartels the facilitation to get through our borders unimpeded.
And, you know, the mayor of Washington, I haven't heard Adams talk about this, but she was talking during the Trump administration about the inhumanity of the border policy back then when the border was secure, when there were about 1/10 the number of migrants coming across. And that means 1/10 of the number of migrants being subjected to the real inhumane treatment by coyotes. I mean, this is just completely hypocritical, what they're doing and saying.
Yeah, they've tried to take two different positions based on who's in power. America understands this. America sees it. I think this is why it's a tier 1 issue going into the next election cycle coming here in November. The plan is to allow this to continue to happen, and for Biden and Harris and Secretary Mayorkas to lie to the American people saying the border's closed. When you have the White House spokesperson saying the border is closed, it's laughable. They've come here by the millions.
You know, there's a trend here, Jason, that we've talked about before, a real crisis among liberals from their policies completely contradicting their rhetoric. That is to say, you know, they talk about the inhumanity of the Trump border policies, and then they have policies when they're in power that are far more inhumane. You talk about views on gun control, and they want to take guns away from everybody while they have armed guards at their expense or the expense of the people paying their bills. Carbon footprints is another one. I mean, you go on. And of course, during the pandemic, all of the hypocrisy over the lockdowns and violating those by the governor of California and Michigan and New York.
Well, I think the American people are smart enough to figure out that what they're being told is a complete and total lie, the fictitious rhetoric that we hear from them. But the reality is the mainstream media is also culpable because they don't actually cover this story. They don't cover the human angle. They do it on other things, but in certain things, they just don't cover the human angle. They don't talk about those rape trees and all the rapes that are happening along the way. They don't talk to any sheriff who's down along the border, and they're going to tell you the truth. Talk to the Border Patrol. I mean, why won't they even take a meeting with the Border Patrol? There's a reason why.
Jason, immigration was one of the key issues that led to Donald Trump getting elected in 2016. Does it still have that power? I mean, it's actually far more of a crisis now than it was in 2016.
Yeah, I think it does. And not just for the border states. I think that's happening all across the country. Like, when you see all these people coming across, where are they going to sleep? Where are they going to eat? What jobs are they going to take? It's the American people that are going to have to pay for this in these towns that are going to have to go through the surge, the humanitarian crisis and the drug crisis. And there's so many things. You cannot tell me that these people don't have an effect on the housing crisis, the rental markets. Where are these people all sleeping? You telling me that's not exacerbating the inflation woes when you suddenly have 2 million people also having more need for housing?
Yeah.
That's going to have an effect, David.
If, in fact, Republicans take over the House and possibly the Senate in the midterm elections coming up in November, will we see moves to impeach Mayorkas? Will we see moves for investigative committees to subpoena people in the administration who had a role in destroying our border?
Yeah, and we'll see where the Democrats are in terms of enforcement of subpoenas to get those people up there and talk about how they were going to work to get rid of all the policies that Trump had put into place. Cass Sunstein was the regulatory czar for President Obama. He's now there embedded with Homeland Security to dismantle this and create the functionality. He should be right there in front, having to testify in front of Congress. But then you get the Border Patrol, get the real people out there that are talking about the human scourge that's going on here. I do think that's a ripe area to certainly do an investigation.
I'd like to see some of those committee hearings. It'd be very interesting, by the way, to see if anybody from this administration violates the subpoenas that they get after condemning former Trump officials from answering their subpoenas. Jason Chaffetz, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.